Hello, guys, and welcome here to SCN Sports Talk, where I've had enough of all of your viewership shit, so I needed to get a beer now. Okay, y'all
Yeah,
fucking
but
disgust me. That's all I'm gonna say. Y'all nasty. On that note,
no, you nasty. Jenny is the worst tasting beer there is.
listen, I would love to disagree, yeah, I'd love to disagree actually. But on that note, I actually don't drink that much anymore now that I've started working out more. I think we talked about this. I haven't had a beer since Super Bowl Sunday, and it's on video if you don't believe me. That was the last beer I had.
Yes, go
And
back and
before
watch
that,
that video.
it was Christmas Day. So it's been a while. Trying to get into shape here. I don't know if you guys can tell. No. But, alright. Well, enough about our personal fitness goals here, because this is not a personal fitness podcast, unless you count fitness food in my mouth.
Haha.
uh, Not really food for thought, but we got to start out with some bad news, of course. Not the way we want to start out, but Tiger Woods was involved in a serious car crash the other day. He is listed in serious condition. He has multiple leg injuries and both big bones in his legs. Keep in mind, I won't name them because I got a C minus in anatomy. But he shattered both of them. He's got two rods in his legs. Allegedly, he was meeting up with Justin Herbert and Drew Brees. He was going to golf with them for the day. Um, so here's another impressive thing: 82 PGA Tour victories, five-time Masters champion.
Hmm.
So I guess the big question is and if, or when can he possibly return to the tour? And what are your thoughts on this?
Hmm. Well, he probably shouldn't have been speeding in the first place. One. Two, I'm trying to wonder if it was actually worth speeding in the first place to meet up with two NFL upcomer and
In the
one that's
future,
already knowing and a future Hall of Famer. Um, what I saw from the actual video itself didn't look very promising. He's lucky to have survived
very
because a
lucky
lot
to
of
be alive.
people that roll over not just once but a couple different times off the road are lucky to even come out of it alive in one piece. I mean, certainly he's not going to be the same person afterwards. Um, it's going to take some time for him to recover and get back to form. I know golf's a lot different than playing basketball, playing football,
It's a
playing
low contact
hockey,
sport. Let's put it that way.
but you
Um,
still need form. You still need to be able to stand, and he's not going to be able to stand for quite a considerable amount of time, let alone putt a golf ball. Um,
yeah.
so it's going to be probably few years, I want to say, if not sooner, before he's back up and going. He's going to have to do some considerable amount of physical therapy to get both legs at least as close to normal as they were before that accident. Um, so we don't know any more news.
Yeah.
Who knows if he could have been
We could. My first thought was he impaired? And I thought that was the
I thought
first
so
bit of
too.
news that was going to come out because we know he has a history with painkillers and his back
Mm,
injuries. Um, I thought for sure maybe painkillers are a part of this, and I hope not because that's what got him in trouble the first time, if you recall, back in the
yeah.
the late 2000s, early 2010s. He got in a serious accident. He crashed into a tree in his front yard after an argument with his wife.
I think I do
So,
remember that. That was so. He he has some history of doing some interesting
yeah, some really
stuff.
dumb shit. Let's put it that way. He has a history of
Yes.
doing some really
Yes.
dumb shit. But of course, he is, you know, whether or not he returns, 82 PGA Tour victories, a 5-time Masters champion. That's nothing to sneeze at. That is incredibly difficult to do. And even if he doesn't return, he's going to go down as one of the greatest to ever golf.
Oh,
So,
and I agree. I mean, he's paved the way for a lot of people. And, I mean, I don't want to get too political with stuff, but it has paved the way for African American males to get into the professional
yeah.
sport of golf.
Well,
So,
I think he
all the
was,
power to him.
I think that's a good way to also wrap up Black History Month, as you bringing that up as well. Of course, we know you don't mean anything bad
No.
by that. So, but yeah, he definitely offered up a lot of chances for young black athletes. Um, and he's certainly an inspiration, and I certainly hope he recovers from this because this, much like Alex Smith, this will be kind of a fairy tale comeback story. Of course, it wasn't an injury on a golf course, so I don't
Right.
think you can compare the two.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he's going to, in a way, go through something kind of similar if the injuries are as serious as they've listed.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think he'll be back a lot sooner than Alex Smith was, obviously, because not a contact sport.
Right.
But
And also not a compound fracture either.
yeah, but a shattered leg is nothing
No.
good, obviously.
Well, if I know a lot about Tiger Woods, he was great when he first came in. Then had his little
He
incidents
has a
and
little
took him a
downfall.
while, a little downfall. Took him a little bit to get back to it. Got back up to his normal range, and then this kind of comes
Yeah.
out and plagues him. So he's had an up, down, like a roller coaster kind of
Yeah. He's
swing.
had a
So
tumultuous career. One thing that you can also look forward to, and I might be wrong, I don't follow much golf. Frankly, I don't follow any at all. But if I do recall, his son is doing a lot of golfing as well, so maybe his son will be on the tour in the coming years too, and that could be something to look forward to. So maybe it stays in the family there.
I mean, it would have to. It would really have to.
But anyway, since we don't know much about golf, let's switch gears here. So we got a lot of NFL free agency and trade rumors to discuss today. Of course, let's start with J.J. Watt. He has narrowed it down to 3 teams, technically 4, but 3 teams definitely. And those teams are the Tennessee Titans, the Buffalo Bills, or the Green Bay Packers. Oh man, which one do you think he goes to out of those 3? And any surprises that didn't make the list?
Uh, no, I think I'm actually shocked about what did make the list. The Titans. The Titans
Yeah.
was kind of the shocker to me because, to my knowledge, they were not even one of the teams in consideration at first.
Yeah.
But if you're J.J. Watt, doesn't your pride get on the line if you do sign with the Tennessee Titans? Because then you would play the Houston Texans twice.
I don't know why you'd want to do that. That's
And first off,
I mean, if
do
you
you
have,
even have? God,
I was gonna say everything you've done for that city, how much people in that city, uh, love you, and love watching you play, love watching what you do off the field. Why would you do that? That to me, if LT had left the Chargers and said, I'm going to go to the Chiefs, that would be an absolute bitch slap to the face, because that'd be, gee,
yeah, it would.
thanks for nothing.
Plus, he has no bad blood with the Houston Texans, so I really cannot. So ultimately, the 2 top picks I can see is Buffalo because they've been really pushing him the most out of any team
Yeah.
on there, or the Packers goes home, say for like a few years, because he's from Wisconsin. I've been saying it before. Yes, it would ultimately look weird to see him in green and gold, but he would be back home, and who knows, TJ or Derek could end up in Green Bay with him, go back home and play for Wisconsin.
And the thing is as well that if he goes to Green Bay, he won't have to play his brothers, and we don't know
No,
what kind of impact that has on him if he likes to play against them. If he doesn't, and if he doesn't, he doesn't have to see him for a few weeks or for a few
but I
years.
will say, if he does go to Buffalo, he would have to actually play in a game against two of his two brothers because Buffalo plays in Pittsburgh, or not in Pittsburgh, but they play up against Pittsburgh and Buffalo this year. So it'd be very intriguing to see a matchup between the Watt brothers and Buffalo. That would be, I think they would sell some tickets there.
And you know what?
I really think they would.
Maybe we just found out what game we're gonna go to next year. Just saying.
Yeah, of course. I mean, come on, Buffalo. Do the right thing.
Yeah, I'm telling
I
you.
know there's a lot at stake with free agency, deciding who you want to keep, who you want to get rid of, who you want to bring in, how much cap space you're going to have ultimately, because I know we didn't have this written down, but apparently there's talk that after free agency and the draft, Josh Allen, depending on the cap situation, is going to get the contract extension he wants. So it all depends on what kind of money Buffalo will have to give J.J. Watt. And I guess I was also shocked that the Raiders were that dark horse team because, to my knowledge, they really don't need that pass rusher.
But I mean,
But then again,
the thing is, Gus Bradley is not a blitzing coach, and Gus Bradley is going to be their defensive coordinator. I don't see him having success over there.
no. The Titans don't really scream blitzing defense either. The Bills
But
and Packers
Mike Vrabel,
do.
too. That's
Yeah,
the
that's
thing to
true.
keep in mind. Mike Vrabel is an aggressive coach, and he's a guy you want to play for. I mean,
I guess it all depends on which team is the closest to getting to the Super Bowl. And from my case of what happened last year, it would have to be the hometown team for New York and the Bills, but the Titans definitely have a very underrated team. And the reason why I say underrated, not overrated, is because they still have some missing pieces. Yes, bringing in J.J. Watt will be good, but if you're Houston fans, you see him going to Tennessee, you're going to have to be like, what the hell?
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
this is how you repay us and going to the division rival?
Yeah.
So that's why I say ultimately it's going to come down to the Bills and Packers, and it would have to be for his pride's sake.
And I think I'd give the edge to the Bills if he wants to play with the contender. Because as much as the Packers can be a contender, we know the Bills made the AFC Championship. We know it's a dynasty conference, essentially. And the Bills are honestly, if he goes there, they are the best chance to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC.
I think he's that pass rusher that they were missing the AFC Championship game, too.
Yeah. I mean, if he goes to the NFC, here's the thing. We're going to have an issue this free agency where players are going to want to go to either the Rams or to the Bucks, because we've already heard multiple players want to play with Matt Stafford in LA, and we've also heard on the other side of the spectrum, who doesn't want to go play with Tom Brady after he just won a Super Bowl over there?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, this is just
I'm very intrigued.
That NFC.
Yeah, what? I'm very intrigued to see what's going to happen come March, because it's going to be a very fun and exciting free agency to watch.
Of course, we'll discuss it when it opens up, but I'm going to just give you kind of a sneak peek. I think Kenny Galladay goes to LA and joins Matt Stafford. That's my early prediction.
I could see it. If the money's right, I could see it.
Yes, and we'll see how that plays out. The other big rumor, or not even a rumor, Deshaun Watson and David Culley had a little meeting earlier, or last Friday, and he straight up told David Culley he will not play for the Texans. So this is, in a sense, him saying he is going to hold out because the team has already said they will not trade him.
Well, if he doesn't get traded during the off season, he's definitely going to get traded during the season, and it's going to be very intriguing what Houston's going to do. Are they going to bring in another quarterback? Are they going to draft another quarterback? Are they going to ultimately get Deshaun Watson's replacement?
That's
Or are they going to be, or are they going to be like, all right, will you stay if we pay you a good amount of money?
Will you stay if we get you this top receiver? Will you stay if we build around you? That's going to be the big thing. And to be honest,
you would really have to sell him on wanting to stay. And if you don't, he's going to be holding out. He's going to be a cancer to that locker room. And it's going to be like a LaShawn, or not, Le'Veon Bell type situation. He held out the whole entire year and then ultimately got released.
It's going to hurt him at the end of the day. It's going to hurt Deshaun Watson. If it does come down to this at the regular season, it's going to hurt his trade value, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, it's probably going to hurt him when he goes to a new team because now he's got the reputation of quitting on his team. So now, I don't know if I'd want that on my records.
Right.
Again,
I just think that he's just too good to be one of those players, or at least too humble of a player to do this. But the Houston Texans have royally, and excuse my language, royally fucked him over.
Yeah, but it's not just that. I mean, Houston's going to be a very undesired free agency attraction this offseason.
And nobody wants
Jacksonville. I know I crapped on Jacksonville earlier, but now I would say Houston and New England are at the top of that list of undesirable locations.
Now, nobody wants to play for David Culley wide receiver wise because he is the worst to help out the receiver core.
Well, you just lost Will Fuller then. That's all I'm gonna say because Will Fuller is gonna be a free agent.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
Interesting.
So, I don't know what to say here. This is just going to be a very messy situation for Houston, nonetheless.
If you're Houston, you're going to have to rebuild from scratch.
Yes.
And yes, that's going to be a whole big rendezvous of, do we bring in another guy, like at quarterback? Do we bring in other receivers? And the thing about A.J. McCarron, he's not a terrible option. He's proven that he can win games as a starter.
Product, though.
Yeah, but he's one of those Alabama products that actually has had success as a starter in the league and almost won a playoff game for the Bengals.
Yes,
against
I remember that. They should have kept him as the starter then.
I agree. And I thought Buffalo was going to start him. But, things happen.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say...
Where we go over the Peterman situation, but
I was going to say, before we switch gears, I just want to address this. This is my honest and heartfelt opinion here on the Cincinnati Bengals. Carson Palmer was an incredible quarterback. You can look at his time in Oakland. You can look at his time in Arizona. He did so much better over there. And he didn't have much in Oakland. He had Larry Fitzgerald in Arizona, but he didn't have anything other than that. And somehow he still made it work. Andy Dalton had prime A.J. Green. He had prime Giovanni Bernard amongst, I think, another good running back as well. But he had star players around him that did all the work for him. So that's why I think, Andy Dalton was not the better quarterback in that situation. It was a terrible mistake of Cincinnati's to stick with them after that playoff run,
Oh,
even
I
though it was a
agree.
one and done. So this is something I've been sweeping under the rug for the last few weeks. I've been saying this is not an issue. This is not an issue. Nothing's going to change here. You know, it's just the media blowing up this drama. I don't know if I can sweep this under the rug anymore. Russell Wilson today allegedly stormed out of a meeting after trying to talk with Seattle officials about how to fix the team.
Hmm.
They did not listen to him. He stormed out, but he didn't leave demanding a trade. Simply, he said that the Bears, the Saints, the Cowboys, and the Raiders are on his trade list. Do we now stop sweeping this under the rug as an issue in Seattle?
Yeah, I would definitely say so, because if he doesn't get traded, they did say in that article that they could eventually see him being traded. Um,
And he has no trade clause, so he holds the future in his hands.
that's very true. Um, Unfortunately, Cowboys and the Raiders would be the best options. Yeah, the Raiders have some young talent, but ultimately that's not going to help you get anywhere. The Cowboys has some
But
decent receivers, so maybe if you do bring him in, he could actually excel under Mike McCarthy's system. Uh,
Mike McCarthy,
Bears,
though, that
yeah,
man, he
he's
is
hit and miss,
he is
but
the
still,
lowest IQ coach in the NFL, and you can't even convince me otherwise.
I agree. But you have Amari Cooper, C.D. Lamb, and then Gallup there, Michael Gallup.
I don't
Three of the top, three pretty good receivers there in Dallas.
I don't see him moving on from Dak, though. I think Dallas is the least likely
No,
destination. I can see the Raiders moving on from Derek Carr because that's been kind of turmoil
yeah.
the last few years.
See, I honestly thought that when the Raiders brought in Mariota, that it was basically like showing, sorry, Derek, like
You're
we
on hot
brought him
water
in.
now.
Yeah, we brought him in for a reason. So,
Yeah, so um,
um, I would assume that the best option maybe to get traded is definitely the Saints. Like,
that's a
if you
win
want to go
now.
anywhere, yeah, that would definitely be a win now. You have the best team there, and ultimately, I think that Russell Wilson would be able to help the team get over the slump that they've been in the last uh,
Hmm.
11 years.
Yeah,
I want to say 10, 11 years. Actually,
nobody.
no, maybe a little bit longer than that, but still.
A lot's going to depend on Drew Brees' retirement, but I would say this is an upgrade from Drew Brees in a way. Now, hear me out, because Drew Brees is still one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game.
Hmm.
But look at what he's done the last few years. He was out, I think, a combined 11 games the last 2 seasons due to injury. Um,
Hmm.
he's not mobile. He can't extend plays like Russell Wilson could. So, I think it would be an upgrade from that standpoint. But again,
Now,
I don't
fortunately, if
think he
he
has the
does go
super
to,
cunning.
yeah, if he
No,
goes to New Orleans, it just depends on who they're going to trade away for Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson still has a pretty decent big contract, and there's no way the New Orleans would be able
yeah,
to take that on without having to give up something big. That's the
yes.
only problem.
They'd have
So
to
I
give up
guess
the Kamara or Thomas.
the only best maybe trade destination that could ultimately still be pretty good for him is maybe Chicago. I
I
want to
could
say
see
Chicago, and
Chicago for Nick Foles. I mean, you trade that contract away, and then, obviously you're going to throw draft picks in there, but you trade away
Mhm.
Russell Wilson for Nick Foles. You acquire a different contract. It won't hurt either cap, just about.
It all
I mean,
depends on if Nick Foles would actually ultimately fit in Seattle's
and
system
to
as
be
well too.
honest, I know Chicago is not a desired destination because you're playing in the cold,
Mm,
but I mean, I don't think he'd have any problem recruiting players there. You know,
No, I don't think so either.
I mean, look at what Pete Carroll has done to damage relationships in Seattle. I mean, he basically destroyed the Legion of Boom over there.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's drafted a few crafty receivers, and he's going to go down as one of the sneakiest in the draft because he drafts some of the weirdest players, like some of the most random players, and they somehow have success. I mean,
Yeah, everybody didn't think that DK Metcalf would have success in Seattle, but look where that went
yeah,
in 2 years.
exactly. And I think, but I think that's what's deterred a lot of veteran free agents from signing there. You move Russell Wilson to Chicago or Dallas or Las Vegas, that's going to be a breeding ground. I think the Cowboys are the least likely scenario because I think Jerry Jones is just going to stick with Dak at this rate. Jerry Jones
Yeah,
has a very hard time moving on from anybody.
he does, and I guess there's could be possible talks about like a 3 year, $100.5 million contract for Dak, which I think is ridiculous, but
I don't
that's
think he'd
for
serve.
another day.
Yeah, and other news in the NFL as well, um, which the Washington football team could get bought by Jeff Bezos. How's about the Washington Prime?
Really, Jeff Bezos?
The Washington Prime.
I mean, I guess it has a ring to it. If
Delivers packages and wins.
Now, does that mean that the FedEx Field or Landover in Landover, Maryland?
Renamed to Whole Foods. Whole Foods Field.
I mean,
That'll be on the menu every day. Whole Foods.
has a ring to it.
You know what? They're gonna have the Amazon smile as their logo.
Oh my god!
They're gonna have the. If you've ever seen the Amazon delivery drivers, the blue vests,
Yeah,
like the light blue sleeves.
that's gonna be the New Jersey
that's gonna be
colors.
the New Jersey colors. You're gonna see Alex Smith there. He's gonna yell, "Next day delivery! Next day delivery! Set hike!"
Prime.
Yep. Oh man, yeah, that'll be interesting. But we'll see what happens in the Russell Wilson developments. I think this is a good time for our anchor break here.
Yeah, I think so too.
And when we come back, we'll have out of turn 4. We got to talk some NASCAR and some IndyCar. Then we got the second half of the NBA schedule being released. And a little bit of NHL here for the first time in forever on SCN Sports Talk. So we can't wait to bring that all to you, and that'll be right after the Amazon break for our audio viewers, so stay tuned. Welcome back to SCN Sports Talk, where clearly I get Amazon and Anchor all screwed up.
And
My
everybody,
apologies to our sponsors at Anchor.
Sorry, Anchor. Don't drop us for that, please.
But hey, Amazon, you've got plenty of money. Come on over and sponsor us.
Yeah, please. We've been asking for like a sponsor almost every episode. We need another one, man.
Yeah, come on, man. Help us out. Yeah. So again, before I call us the Amazon, before I tell you to listen to this on Amazon, let's get on to our new segment called Prime Next Day Delivery. No, I'm kidding. It's called Out of Turn 4. So, Christopher Bell, a known dirt racer turned NASCAR driver, he wins at the Daytona Road Course over the weekend. He got his first Cup win in his 38th career start. He is the 2017 Camping World Truck Series champion and has 16 NASCAR Xfinity Series wins. One thing that was up for debate was the caution timing. We had a rain caution with 15 laps to go, and in a way it kind of ruined the quality of the race because we just had caution after caution. the rest of the way. It was a mess.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not gonna lie, that was one of the most disappointing finishes. I'm a Chase Elliott fan. I thought he'd come up at the end, but nonetheless, I guess I'm glad to see Christopher Bell win a first-time winner. Um,
Right. I
but
guess I also might have to ask, how bad was the rain? Was it like
there's
thundering and
like,
lightning?
no, I mean it was in Florida, but it wasn't the typical Florida rainstorms that you see. It was
Was it
like a
like a
sprinkle.
light rain?
It was a very, very light rain, a very light sprinkle in the infield. They were still running fine. You know,
Then
it was to give the teams the option to go to the rain tires or stay on the dry tire or on the slicks.
yeah, there's definitely
Oh,
that.
hold up, you cut out there.
Oh,
Okay, you're good
sorry.
now.
Okay, sorry. There's definitely caution with rain and racing, definitely. But if you got 15 more laps, you might as well finish it out. I get it. There's a lot of danger in a way with doing that, but you might as well finish the last 15 laps.
If it was a heavy soaking Florida rainstorm, I would
Oh
totally
yeah, for
understand
sure.
throwing the caution. But for a few light sprinkles on a road course, why not a localized caution? It's a 3.4-mile road course that they ran. Plenty of time to throw a localized caution and say, hey, careful, no overtake here. So, something they should explore in the future. But it was a good finish nonetheless. I'm not a fan of the Daytona Road Course, though. I believe I iterated that in our Daytona 500 special with
Yeah, I think
Zach.
so.
So, delete your road course, Daytona. Well, keep it to IMSA. It's more built for that anyway. Um, we gotta elaborate more on this Alvin Kamara story because this is just getting wild. He not only sponsored a NASCAR Xfinity driver, he is now telling his teammates he will pay them to watch her 10 races. Oh man, he's definitely gonna invest in the sport sooner or later. That's my prediction.
Now, how much is he willing to? The real question is, I just want to know how much he's willing to give his teammates to literally go and support NASCAR. Because if we're talking about like 15, 20 grand to watch a race,
Shoot.
but
You cut out again there. But you're
oh,
good now.
sorry, I said if I'm Elvin, if it all depends on how much Elvin ultimately willing to give his teammates. Like if it's 15, 20 grand, shoot, I would watch a race. I'm not a big racing fan, but
Yeah,
if I get paid 15, 20 grand to watch a race, I'll do it. I'll do it in a
I
heartbeat.
would definitely.
I'll probably grab a beer, sit in the couch and watch it
Yeah,
from start to finish.
yeah.
I
And I
might
don't
not
think
know
he's
exactly what's going on, but
I don't
guess what?
think he's
I'm not.
watched a NASCAR race, but we have watched an Indy 500 together. That I can vouch for, and I believe it was last year's Indy 500, if not the year before.
Mm-hmm.
So I have gotten him to watch some racing, but yeah. Um, then on another note, and this is your, oh my gosh, this is your that person is a dick moment of the week. As I just
You
realized,
forgot your mic.
you heard me though, so it's not that bad. It was probably just echoing the whole time.
Yeah,
But
probably.
it's alright. We're still going to go with it. It's not like I muted you like I usually do.
Yep.
Yeah, so
You better not have.
um, here's your annual this person is a fucking dick moment. Gene Haas, the owner of Stuart Haas Racing in the NASCAR Cup Series and NASCAR Xfinity Series, Tony Stewart's team. He is also the owner of the Haas Formula One team. I have very strong opinions on Formula One, but I won't get into it today. He also owns Haas Tooling. That's a machinery company. He is very invested into racing. Basically, is the forefront of all this. He promised Roman Grosjean, his former Formula One driver, he would sponsor any attempts he makes in the States to go racing. And just today, he backed out of it. He said, I don't think he should be racing. It's way too dangerous. We can't risk it. He should stay home with his family and just remain retired. Total bullshit. That's all I gotta say. Let me put this way. That's like that guy in the State Farm ad dangling money. I got you $1. Oh, you almost hit it.
You gotta be quicker than that.
Terrible. That's all I gotta say about it. And I would assume you're thinking the same thing here. Just a shitty move on his part.
Yeah, that's terrible.
And all I'm going to say is if you invest in racing constantly, you run 4 NASCAR Cup Series teams, 1 NASCAR Xfinity team, and then 2 Formula One cars. That's 7 cars you're putting on the track every week. Formula One is not a cheap sport. It is multi-million dollars to get a car on track. Like, it is almost triple the amount to put a NASCAR on track.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken. How are you willing to invest in that?
Right.
But you have a problem with one driver's decision. That's just... You're a dick for that. If I'm reading the story correctly, you're a dick. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, and what's going to happen? Like next week, I decided I will sponsor him and just go back and forth?
I hope he does the right thing and he sponsors him because that's a dick move otherwise. So...
I agree.
That's all I gotta say. Either that or just shut down your team. If you feel that strongly that it's too dangerous, then you shouldn't be invested in the sport. You shouldn't be invested in it, period. Go invest your money into football. Sponsor a pre-race show. You know.
Do something with your money.
Give full ownership to Tony Stewart. I'm pretty sure he'd love to fully say it's Smoke Racing or Tony Stewart Racing. We know what a smartass Tony Stewart is. He'll think of something stupid to name the team. But, alright, that is it for Out of Turn 4 this week. I hate to end it on a heated moment, but we'll go with it. By the way, next race...
We'll digress from it.
By the way, actually, no, we're not going to end it on that, because I forgot. The next NASCAR Cup Series race is at Homestead this weekend in Denny Hamlin. Boo, he's on the pole. Alright, now we're done with NASCAR, or Out of Turn 4. So the second half of the NBA schedule is released, and this is where Jason takes over.
I guess I definitely seen it happening. I'm all for it. There really hasn't been anybody coming down and having to leave games due to COVID as of late. So
that's a good sign.
I'm all for it. Finish the season if you can. If nobody ends up having it at all, then that means that looks good for sports moving forward. That we're finally flattening the curve in one way or another. And as far as Maz second game, darn, man, I was really hoping. We always seem to play each other twice a year.
I was telling you before we started this, had we started it during the first game, I would have made a very friendly wager on here about the game. I think I told you that, if I'm not mistaken, before we started this. So, unfortunately, we'll save that friendly wager for next season, or if by some slim miracle both of our teams make the finals, which I don't think is even going to remotely happen. I could see the Heat making it before the Mavs, unfortunately, and that's not by much.
Yeah, the Mavs unfortunately don't have the team right now. Kristaps Porzingis is hurt, supposedly in trade talks, but Mark Cuban denied those trade talks.
If he can't stay healthy, it's something to consider. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Well, I've been saying it all along. Dallas definitely needs overall. I think it's time for a new coach and maybe just rebuilding. Nothing against reloading, but it's time to rebuild. And I think you rebuild with a new head coach. Nothing against Rick Carlisle, but he apparently does not know how to coach in the NBA of today.
Unfortunately.
The last great year for him coaching wise was 2011. Ever since then, has literally been one and done, one and done, one and done. Missing play. I know.
To our young viewers, you didn't see anything.
Yeah, sorry. You'll learn that in life later. So I really do think that there needs to be a lot of changes being done to that team. But fortunately, it's all up to Mark Cuban and Donnie Nelson, the GM. So please, for Mavs fans, please do the right thing and not, let us suffer any longer. Either trade away Kristaps Porzingis and bring in somebody that's going to help us on the defensive end and also on the offensive end. Kawhi Leonard.
At the risk of being shot if I ever step foot in Texas, can I just say that Dallas teams are so dumb they think rebuild means something totally different?
Yeah, I guess so.
They think rebuild means reload. They don't know the definition of tank. And I don't mean that necessarily as just an insult. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but sometimes you need to know when to fold them, as the late Kenny Rogers used to say.
No, I agree. I really do agree. Fortunately, so second half of the season, I guess is also very intriguing.
If the All-Star game doesn't kill it.
I don't think it will.
I don't think so either, but you never know. I mean, it's still not a great idea to have an All-Star game.
Plus, it's not like they really play defense and play, like they actually care. So it won't be any different than any other year when it comes to the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Now, I guess I was also going to say this since I haven't had a chance. The Utah Jazz have the best record in the NBA, and they they beat recently the current NBA champions in the LA Lakers. Now, if I'm saying that, it's great. Fine and dandy, you could be having the best record all you want in the regular season. But once it comes to the playoffs, you better watch out for LeBron, because LeBron turns up in the playoffs. And there's a reason why he's won four NBA titles. Yeah, he doesn't have the best finals record, but look, there's a reason why he's won four, and he knows how to turn it up in the playoffs and get to the finals.
Tell me when the Jazz show up in the playoffs. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, even if they do get to the finals, it's not like they have to worry about Michael Jordan like they have in the past in 97 and 98, back-to-back years with Karl Malone and John Stockton. They don't have to worry about Michael Jordan plaguing their chances of winning a championship.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that's the only difference about this time around in the past. But I guess that's it for NBA news that I wanted to discuss.
That's it.
Time to go to NHL.
Yeah, man.
Now,
a surprising jump on hockey here.
I know. Now, the cool thing about the whole Lake Tahoe game is I was supposed to go on vacation to Lake Tahoe, and it would have been around the same time as the game happening. So it's very intriguing to find out that actually happened around that time that I would have been going. And if I knew, maybe, I'm not a big hockey fan, but maybe could have gotten tickets for it.
You were supposed to go to Sierra Nevada area? Lake Tahoe's in the Sierra Nevada.
Oh, never mind. That's right.
I think you're thinking Lake Placid.
Yes, that's right. Lake Placid, not Lake Tahoe. Sorry.
Listen, we're not geography majors, but I thought something sounded fishy there. So.
No, but I think that's pretty cool that NHL did a outdoor game.
I love the outdoor games. I'm telling you.
See, now I thought it was the actual I thought it was the classic there, like they usually do for outdoor games, but to know that they actually just did a regular season game outdoors in the wintertime,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool actually.
And I'll tell you, when I used to have New Year's Day off, I didn't, because usually now I work in the morning on New Year's Day, but I would
Hmm.
get up, I would watch the Rose Bowl, I would watch the NHL Winter Classic. That would be my whole day right there. That was my whole day. But the highest ratings on cable since 2002 when ESPN held the NHL rights, and they very well might get it back, by the way, according to Zach Carmine. Um, the highest NBCSN ratings ever. NBCSN is shutting down towards the end of this year. So, I don't know. If I'm NBCSN, I'm reconsidering this whole delete thing. I mean,
Unfortunately, it's only one game, so it's it's kind of tough to just judge off of one outdoor game. So
but maybe they should reconsider.
unfortunately,
At the very least, the NHL should consider doing more outdoor games in the north. And the biggest highlight is in the north, where we don't have to worry about
mhm.
super insane warm weather. So again, if you do an outdoor game here in Buffalo or out in Buffalo, you don't have to worry about it being 90 degrees and the ice melting mid-game.
Right.
If you do it in Montreal, in Toronto, Boston, Pittsburgh, the list goes on and on. You do it in those regions where they're known for having cold winters, it could work out very well. Even Colorado, like Lake Tahoe over there.
Hmm.
I think they should do at least a few games a year out there, and they should make it a national televised event.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it would probably be better to do New York and Canada more than Massachusetts or uh,
Yeah, but I mean, at least
Pennsylvania.
Massachusetts would have the temperature to go along with it, because they could keep the temperature around freezing.
Yeah.
Outside, I'm sure, because it's still the Northeast.
Hmm.
So, again, if they do that, I think, they could hold a game there, maybe in Fenway Park, maybe in Gillette Stadium, you never know.
No, that would
But
be really cool.
And then, of course, baseball's going to have a Field of Dreams game, I believe, if they haven't already. I know they were talking about that on the original Field of Dreams field.
No,
So,
that like from the actual movie itself.
yes, that one.
No, that's actually really cool.
See, now if they could do that, now you put basketball. Now, I have seen a Syracuse and San Diego State game a few years ago as well. That was played on a marine cruise ship outdoors, or on a marine ship, or U.S. Navy ship, or whatever it was.
Right.
So we've
Now it's
had,
cool when they do like NCAA basketball.
yeah,
Now, what I would be very intrigued to have happen is too bad the NBA couldn't do like a game on air, like one of those kind of,
no,
uh,
yeah.
I
Why
guess,
can't why can't they do that for like the Miami Heat or the Orlando Magic? You could put a
right.
court. I don't know if Wide World of Sports is still open at Disney World. I'm not a Disney buff per se, but say you put a game at Walt Disney World Resort outside on
Hmm.
an outdoor court, but at the same time though, you got to worry about the Florida storms. That's the other problem that factors in.
And well, that's very true too. Um, but the thing is that NBA's got a working relationship with Orlando, from the bubble last season. So who knows? It could
Yeah,
very well happen in
and
the near
ABC
future.
and ABC owns rights to the finals, because keep in mind, ABC, the parent company, is Walt Disney.
Hmm. That's very
So,
true.
so we'll see what happens. But I mean, I think as far as Peacock goes, they should definitely reconsider that. And I think NBC should keep that in mind at negotiation time as well. I wish we had Zach for this segment because this would have,
I know, it would have been nice.
I would have loved to hear his thoughts on this. But nonetheless, I would love to see more outdoor games. I would love to see games on surfaces that you don't normally play. I mean, NASCAR's going to dirt this year. We haven't seen that in forever. We're seeing more road courses. So it's not, no more of those, they're making a left turn jokes.
Right.
So, but
Now you can joke, oh, they're making a left too, and an occasional right.
yes. No. But yeah, so that's my thoughts there. Give it a chance outdoors. Same with the NBA. I mean, MLB experiments with indoors and outdoors, so we already know what that's like. Same with football. Just wish they'd delete the London series. That's all I gotta say.
And they very well could be going forward. Who knows?
Yeah. So, anyway, that's
I
all.
think you delete.
Oh, what?
I think you delete London and you delete Mexico.
North America in general, I say keep it. They should have kept, as a Bills fan, you may disagree, but they should have, in a way, kept the Toronto series. Not necessarily with the Bills, but with any team just going to Toronto or Montreal or somewhere big in Canada and playing a game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I agree with it.
I mean, at least then it's the Continental Football League and not the International Football League.
Yeah, right.
If you're going to play in London, do it in the preseason, okay? Sorry to the people who may be listening in London, but stop freaking stealing our regular season games. And I mean it in the nicest way, by the way.
Yes,
but,
please.
You don't see any other league go overseas for a regular season game. Come on. Yeah.
Nope, and like the NBA. I mean, yes.
Oh, hold up. You're cutting out again. Here.
Oh, sorry.
Yep, there we go. You're back.
No, I was saying like for NBA, yeah, you do see it happening during the season, but it's mostly in the preseason that happens.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's all we've got for this week here. Now that our NHL topic has turned into any sport, but it's all right. We covered our part here. So be sure to like or dislike, subscribe, and if you're listening on Spotify, thank you guys for listening. Be sure to share this podcast with some friends. We gotta get these views up, man.
Yeah. As far as YouTube, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications.
Yes,
so that you can be the first one in line to know when we have our videos premiering
and be sure
up on YouTube.
And be sure to set your alarm for 8:45 and don't be out late drinking. If you're in New York, you don't have to worry about that because the bar limit's 11 o'clock. Then it's get your drunk ass out of here.
Yep.
So, but anyway, that's all we've got. So we will see you back here next Sunday when we have episode number 9. We're getting so close to double digits.
Yes. We're getting close to those teenage years, man.
Yeah. Oh, man, teenage attitudes. But anyway, till next time, guys. Goodbye, everyone.
Yep, goodbye.